Okay, I have a really weird story to tell you. It's probably two totally unrelated coincidences, but I don't understand why either of them happened or whether they're related. So, it was an absolutely gorgeous day, May the 20th, 2012. I got up, I drove into town. All of these pictures were taken on that day. I drove into town, I headed home again. I lived by Mount Chemanis in Northern Ontario, so I was heading outside to take pictures because that's what you do when you live in a cabin on a lake with nobody around and no TV. So I was trying to get a picture of a catfish, but it was hard because see how blue the sky is and the sun's shining and there's a cloud, so it made it really hard to get a picture of the catfish that's in the middle of the screen there. There it is. I got the catfish. And 4 minutes later, I was still standing on the dock and I heard this sound. And it was a whirlwind or a waterspout. It was coming right at me. I was standing on the dock and I looked up and I could see it coming right at me. But it hit the other dock first. And when it did that, that's probably part of the noise that I heard, but it hit it and it started tearing it apart. So there's pieces of it floating around in the water, and I mean, it was just this swirl of water. You can see the water still hasn't calmed all the way down. There are still occasional little white patches where that's not all debris. This isn't even 2 minutes after that first one. There's debris in the water. The water's calm. This is later on, about, I don't know, a few hours later. I went back outside. I had my dinner or my lunch and I went back outside and everything looked the same. And then I saw a beaver, which wasn't unusual. I'm Northern Ontario. And then I saw another beaver. And suddenly, or over a period of time, I saw a whole bunch of beavers. And they all came right over to where I was. So it just seemed really strange. They weren't afraid or anything. So I went out and I sat on the end of the dock and just watched all these beavers swim by. They were probably coming for floating wood. I don't know. It was just, they all would come right up and some would turn around and go right back where they came from and some would keep going. Like it was just odd. But this is how I spent my days and nights, living in the bush, off the grid, in Northern Ontario.